Every day, 7 days a week, Mudd's call center works to develop customer relationships for you. We'll show you how it works and why it's right for you.
I'm Gary Kroger, your host here at Mudd TV, and today, indeed, we are talking about a call center. I have with me the Director of Sales, John Malta, from our call center here at Mudd. Up till very recently, our call center was called the Call Center, and now you are?
Touchbase Communications, we've changed to.
And what was the reason for that?
We're part of Mudd Advertising. We're not just solely the advertising aspect, it's also the communications aspect. So we wanted to separate ourselves from advertising into the communications. So a name change was fitting.
Well, and you really want to make it very clear to everyone that you cover all aspects of a call center, the need for a call center, any sort of avenue. I mean, which begs the question for those who don't understand, what is a call center?
A call center is a central hub that accepts all inbound calls for a dealership or for a business. And then they're also able to make outbound calls from that same location. And we've got some cool features that we're able to, if we're making an outbound call and it's calling a specific area on the person's phone, it'll show up that it's a local number. It gets more answers for that, and we can do that nationwide depending on the company. It's a better way of getting things answered for the dealerships or for the business.
Well, really, if I may then, a call center, let's call it Touchbase Communication. Let's brand you here. Touchbase Communications really is an extension of your client, correct?
Exactly.
A customer believes that they are calling the company that they're looking for, and you intercept the call.
We answer the phone with whatever the company is looking to have their phones answered. Each one's specific to that company, with their name when it comes up. So yeah, it's like a secretary sitting right there in the showroom of the dealership or a doctor's office or whatever we're answering for.
So what's the reason for that? Why not just call the company, the dealership or the doctor's office?
It helps to help cut overhead costs for the company that hires us. They don't have to have somebody sitting there taking all the calls and twiddling their thumbs and doing different things. Instead, they can hire us for a fraction of the cost of hiring somebody. We take care of all the logistics of all that back-end stuff, insurance and everything, and it saves you money. That's the bottom line.
Well, it saves money, but there's also something that I personally know about Touchbase Communications. I know your boss. I know Mike very well. And I know that he teaches customer service. I know that your team is given a very strict criteria by which to represent the company. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
The focus we have with our employees is that they're nice, they're courteous, leave the attitudes at the door. That's the way that we want people to perceive us when you're answering the phone. There's a lot that goes into receiving a phone call and making phone calls, and you get a lot about a business by the way somebody answers the phone.
And another aspect is the fact that the company's presence is there pretty much all the time. Talk about, I know you've expanded hours. Elaborate there, please.
We've expanded the hours for Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 11 o'clock at night, Central Standard Time.
That's all day. Where I come from,
that's all day. That's when you get your call.
If somebody's calling at midnight, they're probably looking for a pocket fisherman. But,
or they're asking for the pizza delivery guy.
Right, exactly.
Then we also have Saturday and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 5 o'clock. Kind of those typical hours that you want to be available as a business, but you might not be open. Yet we're still able to schedule the appointments, take the call. You're not getting an answering service.
Right. You are directing people toward the information they're seeking, toward the correct people, and oftentimes driving them through the purchase funnel, aren't you?
Exactly.
You're connecting the dots between this person, the client, and what it is they're looking for.
And we're able to schedule those appointments that a lot of times offices wouldn't be able to get for that Monday morning on the weekends, or it's late in the afternoon. They're not even open, but we can still have that appointment set for 8 a.m. or 7 a.m.
Well, John, talk about that a little bit. What are all the things? They're setting up appointments, service appointments, customer displays.
We have a lot of different things that we can do for a dealership or for an individual. We can schedule the appointments. We can use a cloud calendar if they don't have a online feature. We can do a cloud calendar and schedule in the appointments given the slots specific to the customer. If they tell us we need 30 minutes for that, an hour for that average, and give us kind of averages, we can schedule it in and get those appointments set and help to fill their schedule, because that's the key to business.
Something that I think a business would also be interested in are reminders for appointments, for example. And I know that you cold call somebody, hey, where you been? You know, we know that your car hasn't been serviced for a while, or you haven't done such and such, or you haven't been to the dentist, and it's time for that.
We can make calls, do cold calls to past customers that haven't been in 6, 18 months, whatever it is that the client's looking for, when they would expect to see those customers back in. We can call them up, see what's going on, see if they've moved, see if they're going somewhere else, and if there's a way that we can re-earn their business. Retaining customers is key. And then we're also able to call and find out why somebody might not have done business with you. We can set up a list of questions, kind of like a survey, and call up people and say, was this person helpful? Was the service center helpful? Do you know anybody that you can refer to our business? A way to recruit and bring in more business.
So you're helping the company expand and improve their business all day, every day. Now, that's pretty attractive. I would imagine most businesses could benefit from a call center.
Definitely. I mean, every business is looking to acquire more customers. We can also purchase lists specific to that customer's needs, and be able to go through and call those lists of customers that aren't their customers and try to acquire them as customers for them, setting up appointments for, be it windows or automotive, set up appointments to get them in and see if they can't have their salespeople turn those people into customers.
Well, the world of marketing and the world of customer service is no longer passive. The time was that we would sit back and we would wait for the customer to call, or I've talked in other shows about putting out a TV message and just hoping people show up. But with the technology that's available to us, we have to be using it. And your call center, Touchbase Communications, is a very proactive way of touching the customer, isn't it?
Exactly. It's a way that can't be ignored. I mean, we're calling potential customers up to 7 times trying to get a hold of them, varying hours, because the hours that we have, we're able to call morning, afternoon, see if we can't catch them. We can catch them on the weekend. It's a much more aggressive approach, and that's the way to get their attention nowadays. I mean, people are hit with so many things and so many different types of advertising. It's easy to ignore them. It's hard to ignore a phone call.
Yeah.
You're at least going to listen to the message and you're going to catch what is going on.
You're going to be curious at the very least. Well, if you're curious and you'd like to know more, ask Mud at mud.com. We'll direct your inquiry right to John or whomever is appropriate to answer your question. They'll get back to you right away. Once again, that's right at the bottom of your screen. Ask Mud at mud.com. John, there's something that we do at the end of every Mud TV program. We call this Mud Flaps. Now, we often focus in the automotive world, you know, what's interesting in automotive. So I want to put up some interesting Mud Flaps information that our producer has found for us. I always get a kick and I never know what to expect. A little drum roll, John, a little drum roll. Mud Flaps, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first Japanese car in the United States was a Honda Accord. Manufactured, it says November of 1982, and I can quickly tell you a little story. Back when I was a kid, which was back then, we all had pretty big cars. I had a car from the mid-'60s. It was gigantic. And somebody down the street had a Honda Accord that was so tiny that we used to drive by it and laugh when they were out waxing it, thinking, what's the point? It's the size of a thimble. Why are you bothering to take care of this thing? Well, obviously, we've been proven wrong. They have endured, haven't they, John? Hey, here, take a look at this. A Ferrari makes a maximum of 14 cars every day. Would you guess? Well, you don't have to guess. It's up there on the screen. Ford makes 8,000 to 10,000 vehicles per day. I'm guessing there's a little bigger market for a Ford, would you?
I would say.
I would say. Now, here's something that's interesting. The first cars didn't use a steering wheel. Don't look at the screen, John. What did they use to steer the car? Not a steering wheel. Seems logical. They used,
I would guess, like a shifter like sticks.
a lever. Yeah, yeah. And the first windshield wipers were introduced by a woman. Sure, why not? Anything to improve the vehicle, you know, so that you could see better, to get to where you're going, wouldn't that logically be a woman?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, here are two men who have no idea where they're going right now, but it's the end of our program. You can always archive this program at mudtv.com. We hope you will archive shows, call us, ask Mud at mud.com for questions, and we hope to hear from you or see you real soon.